Okay, so this would be what we call a lobe of the kidney. Okay, if we go over to the big model right here, you're basically taking one medullary pyramid and the cortex that extends along with it. And we're looking at all the tubules, nephrons associated with it. So here we are. This is your cortex. Cortex is going to be superior to your arcuate artery and vein. Your medulla is going to be, of course, inferior. The renal pyramid, where the arcuate artery and vein are, that's the base. This part right here, the lighter tip portion, is the papilla or the apex. Coming off the arcuate artery, arcuate artery, you have the cortical radiate artery. Then you can see the red going into the glomerulus. That's your afferent arteriole. Now these two here, they have it open, so you can see the difference between the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. And these ones where it's closed, you know you have the capsule and glomerulus in there, so you need to make sure you use the term that refers to both of those, which is renal corpuscle. So these are corpuscles. Okay, that's the glomerulus, and that's just Bowman's capsule. So fluid, which is in the corpuscle, will enter the proximal convoluted tubule. This, where actually the fluid goes from the blood to the space, that's where filtration occurs. And the proximal convoluted tubule and the descending loop of Henle, ascending loop of Henle, is where reabsorption occurs. So we're taking stuff from the tubule and it's getting added, into the efferent capillaries, which up here, these turn into peritubular capillary beds. Okay, down here, these that extend really deep, and the vessels are more straight. This is what we refer to as vasa recta, and that's where you would reabsorb more stuff from the loop of Henle. And then this last part, basically from here to here, is your distal convoluted tubule where secretion can take place. So the filtrate will get dumped into, from here to here, which is your collecting duct. Okay, so that's going to collect filtrate from several nephrons, and then once it kind of enters your papilla apex portion, the filtrate becomes urine, and this is referred to as the papillary duct. Okay, so then from here, urine will enter the minor calyx, major calyx, renal pelvis, and then exit the kidney through the ureter, where it will take it to the bladder. So let me do this model now. Shows parts of the nephron as well. Okay, you still see the arcuate artery and vein, so you can use this again to separate. Everything above is going to be cortex. Everything below is going to be medulla. Okay, you can kind of imagine your little pyramid, the papillary being here, and the little base coming up here by your arcuate artery and vein. So this would be cortical radiate artery. This is afferent arteriole. This again is your renal corpuscle. This is efferent arteriole. Okay, now here, the efferent arteriole stays within the cortex. Okay, so here it's going to be called peritubular capillary bed, whether I point to the red or the blue. Notice this is where the stuff gets reabsorbed and it will return back to the venous system, usually through either the cortical radiate vein or sometimes it will dump them, as you see here, into the arcuate vein. This is another capillary bed here. This one, you can see this is the efferent, so it's still the efferent that makes the capillary bed, but here the capillary bed is straight and it follows more the loops of Henle. So here the capillary bed is called the vasa recta. Okay, so vasa recta, if it's in the medulla, if it's in the cortex, it's peritubular capillaries. Okay, so coming from the renal corpuscle, the orange is going to be your proximal convoluted tubule, where reabsorption takes place. The orange was proximal, so this would be descending limb of loop of Henle. This is ascending limb of loop of Henle. And basically right when it comes by the nephron, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Microscopically, there's some structures you need to know. But this is the distal convoluted tubule, which will dump its contents into the collecting ducts, or tubules, which you can see they collect. These little cut parts are showing they collect from several nephrons. Here, the filtrate can still be reabsorbed. So it's called filtrate and not urine. When you get to this point, this is the papillary duct. Fluid cannot go from the tubules and the capillary bed, so it has to be urine once it's in the papillary duct, which is from here to here. Also, from these nephrons, you can see the different types. Okay, this nephron here Even if you look at the loop of Henle, it's all in the cortex. Even if the loop of Henle slightly comes in the medulla, we still consider that nephron as a cortical nephron. Okay, this nephron here, a lot of it, especially the loop of Henle, extends very deep within the medulla. So this type of nephron is going to be a juxtamedullary nephron.